Hi, you're watching ROX TV, and with us via Zoom is Florida-based rockers Union Kain, and we're talking to Glazer Girl, Jay the Worst, and Brizzy D. I don't know who would like to start, but how would you describe Union Kain's music?
Well, Brizzy, you want to step in on this one?
I think that mostly it's a grouping of all of us. It's music that comes from all of us in our hearts, and as we're coming together, we really created music that we would enjoy listening to and being part of and sharing as we create each song. Each one is its own unique entity in a sense. It's a living, breathing thing that we all get behind and put our piece into it. So it's really tough to describe. When I think about different influences, I know that we're all influenced by different kinds of music, different musicians and artists. So it's really a united culmination of many things.
Who would you say your main influences are?
I think I can answer that one. Oh, I see you, Brizzy. You can go ahead if you want.
Oh, go ahead. It's great.
Well, I was going to say to you, because the musical influences, you're gonna feel a little bit of, what would you say, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest. I personally, as far as from a lyrical standpoint, feel very much towards Chris Cornell, Lane Staley. And you got Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath going on. It's a real culmination of everything that we like thrown together, shaken up really well, and thrown back out there.
Even different types of music as well, genres like jazz. I listen to jazz probably most of the time when I'm riding around. I know that sounds odd being a metal drummer, but hey, we get our influences from all kinds of places, right? Classical music.
Absolutely.
Classical music can generate so many guitar ideas in our heads. It's when you're listening to all kinds of different things, you're open-minded and you listen for the sound and you listen to what strikes you, gives you feeling, and that really, it comes into play when you're writing.
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, jazz is great for drummers as well, particularly because of all the syncopation and all the loose drumming, and I can see where that would be really useful to drummers.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I dream about triplets.
You've been in recording studio, haven't you, with MT Productions, working on a new EP, Black Dawn.
Black Dawn is very exciting.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Very exciting. Well, as a lyricist, for me, it's the telling of a story. If you were to tell me a story about yourself, I would utilize that after I hear a lick. All of a sudden, if I hear the melody that wraps around it, I'm going to tell you the story to the best of my ability. So when you're looking at Black Dawn, the question at hand is, Jill, let's talk about the apocalypse and how we are not who we were at a time like that. God forbid we should see something like that. But children are no longer children. Pets are no longer pets. The universe isn't as it was. I think a great representation would probably be the movie The Road and what it turned people into in order to survive. It's really what it's about. Every song has a story, whether it's real or fictional. You don't know what the future could possibly bring. So in that particular instance, Black Dawn is just that. It's waking up and trudging through every day, through the blackened snow and the whitewashed gray skies, not knowing where your next meal is going to be, not knowing where you're next going to sleep, who is your enemy and who is your friend. So it's essentially a storytelling of what could be, God forbid.
It's certainly very poignant at the moment, the way things are with COVID and lockdown and riots, and it's very easy to feel as if we are um, reaching some sort of point. I'm not sure where we're going as a species, even. So I think a lot of music that's coming out at the moment is saying those sort of things. So it's very poignant for you to record these sort of songs now.
When you talk about COVID, if you look at the, I don't know what was sent to you originally, but if you look at Waiting for the World to End, when it was originally anticipated by Kain, he was thinking about how we don't pay attention to each other, how we're all busy, you know, with our phones, and we're not looking at each other, and we're not very together, and the whole world could be crashing around us. Fast forward, you look at COVID, you look at how we're all in lockdown, and suddenly waking up, and you know, I think it's kind of bringing family back together, because we are in each other's presence, and we want to have someone to talk to. And unfortunately, it's like we're waiting for the world to end. So what started as a technological disaster may have actually now become a glorified, beautiful family rebirth at a very terrible time, which, like you said before, we could be considered apocalyptic as we wait for the world to end. And we have to find the joy and the hearth of home back in it as a result, as of our resolve.
That's a very cool thing to say. I think you're right. We can go two ways, can't we, really? We can head down an even darker route, or see the positives. And as you say, look to family and friends and appreciate them more. You mentioned Waiting for the World to End. A cool video. Where was that shot?
I was outside of our warehouses up in Davie, Fort Lauderdale area. It was a very exciting opportunity. We were just so thrilled to put it out there into the world. And, you know, how do we go about doing this? And we took a shot at it. And I just think it's an exciting song. And we saw within ourselves, you know, a lot of what would be considered typical. Brizzy, would you say kind of typical 80s, you know, influence when we were outside, you know, passing the bottle and whatnot at the time? What was entertaining to us?
Hanging out, doing my thing.
So, I mean, it was a good time, and we loved playing together. I have to tell you, it's quite the brotherhood in that room when we play together. So we just had a lot of fun when we made that video.
What matters. It comes out as well, you know. It's as you say, it has a very 80s vibe to it. People just hanging out and enjoying themselves, and it does come across. You've done some live work as well, haven't you? I've seen some live clips bouncing around on YouTube. So was you in the middle of live shows when this lockdown happened?
Actually, we were trying to finish up recording, and this came down, and it was problematic. And I think we had pretty much gotten everything finished, and we had to go do editing, which is where MT Productions comes in, and that's Brizzy and Jay the Worst side of the network, and they could tell you more about that. But it was hard because music is a great romance, and when you have a wonderful team where the puzzle pieces have come together and it feels like you're making magic happen, and then you have to all separate and hide out and hunker down. You're not up in a fort eating a cold potato with a wool blanket, but you're not with each other. So it's a lot of phone calls like this where we're, Facebook, FaceTiming, something where we at least get to see each other, because we couldn't play together, and it went on for a number of weeks till we finally could maybe be in the same room with everybody wearing masks. The difficulty being that it's very hard to sing with a mask on. And we didn't even see Brizzy because he had cocooned his magnificent drum set so that we couldn't even see him. He was back there somewhere. We could hear him, but we couldn't see him because, again, we were all very concerned because a lot of us have elder family members and children, and we don't want to do something that would not be safe, and spraying everything down with alcohol, and it's hard. It's hard to be away, but during that time we had to separate. But thankfully, we did get that work done, so that we could now come out and go forth for the next adventure, which is performance.
Have you had any thoughts about that? When was you considering doing some live shows?
We have a very small, limited number industry event, VIP event, very quiet, very off the beaten track, just so that they can hear us play live, a couple small sets. But again, everybody's going to be spotty across the room because we can't be near each other. The big excitement for us will be when we head up to Bristol, Tennessee, where Get Wild Entertainment is putting together the 423 Rock Fest in Bristol, Tennessee. It's about 30 minutes outside of the Motor Speedway. And we just got notified we're going to be headlining on July 18th, which is the same day that we're going to be releasing the album to the public. So it's exciting. It's exciting stuff. And then we're hoping to have stuff coming down here.
It's something that you can focus on and plan for. So I mean, that is fantastic news.
Gary, to interrupt you, Jay the Worst is actually trying to get in. Apparently, he needs to be accepted by you some kind of way.
I sent him the password.
Yeah. Then he can join us.
There we go.
Be approved.
I've pushed the button.
Wonderful. There he goes.
Where is he?
I see it. I see the dots.
Yeah, I see the
Thank
dots.
you so much.
Takes a couple of seconds.
We need some weight music.
Right? Can you play something for us, Briz? Wait, I see ceiling fans. Hey,
hey.
Jay.
Hey.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
You got a lot of light behind you, but not on your face, gorgeous.
Sorry.
There he is.
That's fine. That's fine. Don't worry.
And that
You
is
have a
Jay the
beard,
Worst.
my husband would
Now
be
it's a
very
party.
envious of.
Right?
That's some beard.
Thank you.
My husband's trying to grow his at the moment, so any tips you've got for beard growth, more than welcome.
Isn't that the luck of genetics?
Lots of Jack Daniels. In Jay the Worst case is lots of Jack Daniels and taking some Miracle Grow.
Wait, what is that?
Beard growth.
Yeah, well, what was the other bottle?
My favorite brand.
Oh, okay. So there you go. There's your winning combination.
I shall pass the message on. And now you've joined us. I mean, if you want, I mean, we've been talking about the new EP and the song you've released, "Waiting for the World to End." Have you got anything that you'd like to add? I mean, how was it for you?
It was an incredible experience. It's not too often that you get to find, musicians that you actually, get along with and gel so great with. Recording them has been, it's been challenging, but I wouldn't want to record with anybody else. Those guys just, they nail their parts, and as you do more and more takes, they just get better and better and better. So, it's been a wonderful experience with those guys.
Good. We were talking about influences as well. As a guitarist, who would you say were the most influential guitarists for you?
Oh, geez, that's a hard one. Me personally, if I had to narrow it down to three, it would go for Slash, obviously, Dimebag Darrell, and Zakk Wylde. Those are my big three.
All very big guitar personalities with their own stamp.
Yeah.
Is that something that's important to you as well, to have your tone and your sound?
No, of course. I mean, any guitar player will tell you, when you start playing, you model after one specific artist. And in my case, what I did is I took those three and kind of just mashed them together. And, with the help, obviously, of my band, they also helped shape the final tone that's on the record. And it's pretty meaty. It's pretty big sound.
It is, yeah. It's you've captured the rock and roll essence. There's not so much click track guitar playing as a looser, rawer sound, which is refreshing these days.
Yeah, of course.
Two guitar sound.
Two guitars.
Really
Yeah.
rich.
Yeah.
Between Jay the Worst and Kain switching off, very few bands have that where you have co-leads like that. It's amazing.
It is difficult, because who plays lead, who swap when we swap over, and I always think it's great. I mean,
we're a family. We roll that way.
I'm a guitarist and I can't play with anybody.
Cool.
I mean, you've been going since 2017, haven't you, Ish?
Well, if you'd seen the biography as you have, the ball got rolling with Brizzy and Kain in 2017. And then I believe Jay was next, and then Daryl, and then they threw me into the mix in 2019. And I think that's when it finally felt complete. And that's when things really started gathering, I would say really started gathering momentum.
Not long at all then. So if you could give one piece of advice for somebody like yourselves that want to form a band in the current climate, what advice would you give them?
I would say love what you do and don't be discouraged. What do you guys think? What are your things? I don't know.
Don't fear it. Just do it. Because fear is the biggest inhibitor. Either you go all in or don't do it. Life's about risks. Every day is a risk. So you pull the trigger, take a shot in the dark, and try to make your mark.
Fair comments.
For me, I just love to play. I love to play with other musicians, write music, record, perform, all of it, all encompassing. Just love it.
How do you all feel about the current rock music scene? I mean, you hear so often people say rock is dead or rock is dying. Personally, I don't think it is. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing what we do. But what do you think?
It's brutal in South Florida. I mean, if you're not above the Palm Beaches, it's a lot of bands doing covers. If you want to go in the original market, it's very hard. But a lot of the people who love music in the 80s and the 90s are very, very hungry to have rock and big shows back. And then you have, I would say, Jay, you would say with all the new metal going on, it's happening. It is growing. It is coming back. You just have to know where to get in touch with people and let them know. We were probably as surprised as any to be invited to Bristol, not thinking that that's going to be a hotbed of activity, but it is. Look at Tampa, hotbed of rock for many, many years. Really the place to be at. We're going to be going to Cape Coral. We're hoping at the end of July, after we get back from Tennessee, to hit Fort Lauderdale. And it's rough because down here, at least where we are in South Florida, Dade and Broward counties, they really make it hard on original music versus people who are cover bands. So the original music players, they got to fight for it more. But it's coming. It's here. It's happening. There's a lot of great sound coming out.
Good to hear. Well, thank you guys very much for the interview, and we wish you all the best with the
Thanks for having
EP
us.
and with live shows, and I hope you just keep going from strength to strength. Thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, and bye-bye.
Bye.
No thoughts about tomorrow, not thinking about the past. Your future slowly fading, waiting for the world to end. Addicted to the stream of videos and memes. Your narrow mind escapes me, waiting for the world to end. 'Cause when I look out upon our little lives, I see self-destruction, a good planet's dying light. Without some real action and a little common sense, we'll watch our planet die, lose our only chance. Narcissistic dreams of power and the greed. Your attitude offends me, waiting for the world to end. Blinded by the gleam of media extremes. Your mind is ever wasted, waiting for the world to end. 'Cause when I look out upon our little lives, I see self-destruction, a good planet